No doubt. I think you got good length and athleticism. You look at it, you got a Marquette transfer, you got a LaSalle transfer who are fifth-year seniors who won championships already. You got DJ Irving who can run any team in the country, to be honest with you, at that position. He's as good as they get. And then he has other big bodies that are fifth-year seniors as well. And Pelage he comes in with. I like all the role players. They got a chance to be really, really good. And if we look at college basketball now, having older players that have won championships, they got a chance to beat almost anybody on any given night in a neutral slate for sure. Now they're going to have their hands full in their league like everybody else, but in terms of what they got, the pieces, I think it's a great basketball team.
How much of a difference does Potter make? Because some of the shots he makes, they're not even easy shots. I mean, he's making tough shots, but they can just go to him. And
I would tell you, if you watch all the tape I had on that kid, the shots that kid makes are, the range of difficulty is off the charts. And the thing about him that makes him so dangerous, he may go 0 for 7 and hit the back of the board. The next time, it's going up. And I think that surprises his opponents still. You just can't imagine the shots that this kid takes. And I think Joe's done a great job with him. If you saw early, we were really running at him, and he's trying to pass. But his true colors are he's going to shoot the ball. And you know what? With all their other kids buying into what he is, I think that's the key thing. Don Morris doesn't mind chasing balls down. Big guys don't mind not scoring. DJ doesn't mind passing. That kid's role is to shoot the basketball. It's what good teams are dangerous when everyone knows their roles.
How did your team play on defending part and going into this afternoon?
Overall, I thought we guarded as well as we can in the half court. I was a little disappointed on transition D, which is really where the younger kids have the hardest time figuring out that you don't have a man. You got to really pick up and locate and communicate. And they're a good transition team. I thought that hurt us the most.
What have you noticed about your team at the end of the game? It seems like you've seen a few times this season. A few times in the game.
Sorry, go ahead.
A few times at the end of the games this season, like UNH, Penn State today, teams been in at the end, and they seem to trail. They've had a lead or they've been tied, and they seem to trail off. Is that fatigue or?
Yeah, as I said at the beginning, I think we played 33 minutes of pretty good basketball, and we probably maxed ourselves out, unfortunately, at that point right there. I thought 30 minutes of the Penn State game, we did a great job. You know, I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to get to that point. I thought I shared the minutes really early in the first half, so we didn't get fatigued and do that. But we didn't have a killer defensive attitude in the second half like we need to get to the 10-minute mark and still have something left in the tank. We just didn't. And as I said to those guys in the locker room, they're in a very unique situation. Very few college basketball players have been put in what they're in right now. And it's not their fault. I just can't. As you see, I got pretty upset when they end up hanging their heads at times and getting defeatist attitudes. You can feel it. That bothers me more than anything else. But if they try as hard as they can, and they're doing everything I ask, and they're getting better with the poise aspect of the game, which I think is important, the competitive attitude, those things, that's what I judge them on. And I saw progress, but it's not 40 minutes.
What's the confidence like right now?
My confidence?
No, the locker room.
The players? Yeah, you know, they're in a state of kind of overwhelmed. It's like, you know, we always had those courses in college where you walk in and 3 classes in, whether it's a professor just over your head and you're like, how am I ever going to survive in the next test? And that's what they're going through. There's stretches where they feel good about themselves and stretches where they just feel overwhelmed. My job is to make sure that it's okay to admit that. Now, there's one thing you can control, how hard you work, and you got to love that part of it. We'll find out with all these guys, and not necessarily this year in time, because my good teams had that intrinsic value that they just loved to work at it. They didn't give a crap what other people said about them, how things were going. They just loved the aspect of working hard. That's the only way out of this. And these guys will all be tested throughout. So, you know, eventually they work out of it, they work hard, and they start feeling good about themselves. But right now there's a couple guys that are just shot confidence-wise. And the only thing that really helps is to do well and then build on that, and it kind of snowballs.
Coach, you got a 29 bench points. How pleased were you with that production from them?
Well, as a same kind of question as when Ryan said, I don't think anybody's a bench player, anybody's a starter. That's what you're seeing. I think we're pretty consistent with all of our guys, and that's sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing. You like to see somebody separate themselves and do that, but right now, the guys off the bench, I think 4 have started games already this season. So I thought certain guys, you know, guys who I think are going to be really good players aren't starting right now. But I think if you have a little vision and see into the future just a tad, that you think that come 50 games and 25 pounds of muscle and just a determined attitude, that you're going to see kids that are really good players. But right now they're kind of drawing for straws and trying to figure things out.
All set?